proud you were, or happy you were with the defensive effort?
I mean, when you look at what they have been doing recently, they've won 5 out of the past 6 games. They're playing hard and they're well coached and they're playing really good basketball, and they want what we currently have, a playoff spot. And the season is running out, and we were all looking at somebody de-ice a wing last night at 1:30 in the morning. We got in, everybody got into their rooms, I'm sure their own homes, at about 2:33, and we found a way to come back in at home and reload on a back-to-back. The 19 defensive points in a fourth period after playing last night, I'm proud of. I'm really proud of our 9 assists in the same period. To have 36 points and hold them to 19 points, and to have a big number, 9 assists, is a good team basketball. All those things come to my mind. It's a very good win. It's a solid win.
You guys are usually pretty conservative on the pick and roll defensively, hanging back. Kemba sort of got going in the second quarter. Can you talk about the adjustments you made in the second half and the fourth quarter?
I mean, right now we're 3rd or 4th in defense, and we really are trending to be an elite defensive team. And I feel in my old life, the way that we're guarding isn't all it can't be all you have if you're fortunate enough to get into the playoffs. You can't always rely that Dario is going to guard Kemba Walker, say, because we switch a lot. We're 6'10", 6'8". We've had great success this year switching. But to think you're going to win a series switching isn't going to happen. And so trying to, give some aggressive shows on the ball, hard hedges on the ball, and letting Dario stay connected with Kaminsky and keeping, Cub or TJ on Kemba to avoid sort of cross matches interests me a lot. And I think that what always goes on in my mind and the coach's mind is how do you best prepare them if we are going to be in the playoffs and in a 7-game series. And pick and roll defense with some minor, but I think effective adjustments is one of them, and that's what you saw tonight. We're trying to grow the ability to make adjustments out of our pick and rolls if we're lucky enough to get in the playoffs.
Can you speak on the impact that Ersan had, 18 points off the bench? He was huge for you guys tonight.
And I'm going to grow him in different ways. And, tonight you would have seen him and Dario play a lot with each other. You see him have the ability to make great passes, from that pick and roll spot. I put him and Joel in, some pick and rolls, and they delivered. He's able to make that pass. You saw him be able to, sort of throw and go, we call it, with Joel and cut. You saw him take a massive charge at the end of the game that he got rewarded for. There was a few others that I thought he could have but didn't. And so all over the place, whether it's him making a 3, him passing to, Joel rolling, him taking a charge, him coexisting with Dario Saric. I think that flexibility, that versatility is what excites me most about him. And it's not like we don't know each other. We know each other well. He knows the system, quite well. There are still lots to refamiliarize him with. But he's a massive pickup at this stage for in my eyes.
How much of your progress as a second half, fourth quarter team has come from maturation of Ben and Joel versus just getting that production from bench guys like Ersan?
Yeah. I mean, it's been, you all follow us, I sit there and coach us, and we've seen growth. You can't deny that. And I think for all of us to watch, how the team has responded and in execution and belief in close games is not to be disputed. It's real for me, and the numbers say so too. We have a sort of small group of things that we go to, when there's about 4 or 5 minutes left and we get wrinkles and options out of that. We've been able to grow our verbiage. It's spaced, it's clean, it's purposeful. And I think that our defense has been solid and continues to grow. And so you weigh up, executing at one end. 9 assists is a massive number in a fourth period. 36 points is a big number to close out a game when you're down, I think, 14 points as much we got down. And then you can guard, you can put out fires, and there's a belief that continues to fester and grow. And I think that we've all seen those types of things as this season has unfolded, and now we want to continue to grow our bench where we can, intermittently rotate this team where there are no droughts. And that's the next phase, just playing the game longer. Because really, I thought there was too many, ups and downs, but we sure came to play in the fourth period.
Turnovers for the last month or so seem like they've been much less of a problem. What do you attribute that to?
I think that we're familiar with each other, Derek. I think that the structure is also familiar, to the team. There's a familiarity with the individuals. We've talked about it a lot. We don't ignore it. We own it. But we also haven't gone overboard. I haven't gone overboard on, just pounding things. There are, in fact, okay turnovers. We set a back screen lob for Ben, and we gotta, Joel, it's open, and we've got to grow him to be able to have the confidence to throw that. And it doesn't feel so good when it's a turnover, but I use that as an example. Sometimes, guys are trying to make plays, and I feel like as a group we understand that the things that hurt us early, if we didn't fix them, the playoff sort of mantra on our marching orders, it's just words. It's not going to happen. And so we have fixed it. We're trending in the right way, and we're also staying aggressive. That's the holy grail.
Brett, how much of the fourth quarter success is just due to having more experience in tight fourth quarter games and more reps in those situations? Is it that old cliche about learning how to win, I guess, with a young team?
I think there's some of that. If your question is the older guys that we, JJ as an example, his sort of poise, it is true. When I think Ersan comes in there, we saw it tonight, and there's sort of a grounding effect and a poise, and that is true. But then you spin out of it and you go over to, let's just go to our two best players in Joel and Ben. I see it in them. And I also see there's a tenacity, that there's a sort of an internal clock. I don't care what they see on a scoreboard. It's time to go. It's go time. And our defense and the camaraderie I see them talking about and talking with each other about, not just accepting scores. There's a problem. They got to fix it. We don't dust it off. I think both sides of the ball, those two guys have grown. Sure, Ersan and, say, JJ and Cov is, kind of emerging into more of a, I suppose, senior type of player. But I think it's a collective, progressive growth born out of some rough times early in the season, and now sort of delivered into March with the excitement that we're really close to achieving something in our eyes that's special and was a declared goal, and that is to play in the playoffs.
What did you mean when you said that you were going to try to grow Ersan in different ways?
5'4", 4'5". I think that we have something unique. I really think that we have something unique. Just like we have something, you got to juggle and figure out with Rashawn and Amir. I thought Rashawn, was a little bit down tonight. And so Amir sat back to back, and you have those options available, and that's a team. That's what a team is about. And if you can get a team to believe and buy into what I just said, then you got it all. And I think we got it all. I think that locker room is spirited. I think they're extremely together. They coexist as well as any team that I've coached since I've been here. It's a heck of a lot easier when you're winning. But nevertheless, that's a legitimate locker room that I'm very proud of. I'm lucky to coach them.
Joel seemed like he kind of had a three-point line first half.
Yeah.
What flipped in the third?
I think just the mindset that there's sort of an advantage with Herman Gomez. If Kaminsky ended on him, I think we all sort of see apples for apples maybe with Dwight versus Joel. Some of it always I blame a little bit on maybe fatigue. I know that I want him to I really want him to shoot 6 to 8 threes a game. you know. And so, well, how does that happen? And he still is a interior present, a paint catch guy. You know, if you look at our team, I'm convinced that the three-point line is where the sport is heading, and I think it's going to rear its head in the playoffs. And our point guards don't shoot threes. And so already you're kind of like dealing with zero with Ben and with TJ. And so where can we make up some difference? And so I post Ben a lot, and we try to space him. And I thought Joel mixed it up quite well. I thought we executed some stuff on cross screens, getting him the ball after free throws well. But I hear what you're saying, Derek. I think the rim-to-rim stuff versus three-point line to three-point line, I sort of go into immediate fatigue mode more than a mentality mode.
You were talking to Brandon Graham after the game. What'd you guys talk about? Is he going to come and talk to your team, or like Kelsey did with
it's just
Phillies?
I get such a thrill out of listening to our crowd welcome Eagles players come and ring our bell. And, you know, to sort of be just a normal fan and sitting on my couch like everybody else, but following the Eagles story is something that I have tremendous respect for. Just as a sportsman, like I understand how hard it is to be the last man standing, and the path that they took and the perseverance that they clearly had after a great player goes down and they still maintained a belief. You know, how can we all not say, I want that, we want that, you know, and to recognize him and to have him be in our gym and be a bell ringer, he is, and they are always welcome here. And somewhere in all those sentences I just gave you is the message that I had with him.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.